Hello, welcome to Kaiba Health and Life. I'm your host, Kristen Willisonovich. So excited to be in the Kaiba Health and Life studios with my guest co-host, the beautiful Therese Berlinski.
Hello there.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
And to your right is personal trainer, health and wellness expert, and we're so excited to have you on the show, Benjamin Sage. We're going to talk living your best life.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, tell me a little bit about how you got, look, obviously aesthetically, right, Therese, we can see why he got into the health and wellness industry.
Absolutely.
But what made you tap into it? Have you always lived or loved exercise or have always ate right? Or are you just lucky with genetics or all of the above?
That's a good question. Really, there's two main reasons why I got involved. First of all, people my whole life have always told me that I'm in good shape. Mm-hmm. And they say that, I look younger than what I am. And so that kind of like pushed me towards it because I do have what I think is a secret to living well. But then I'm also...
Are you going to share it?
I am. I might.
Okay.
But then I'm also a director of a charity, and it has to do with lupus. It's the Michigan Lupus Foundation, which you can find at milupus.org. And as a director, I found out that the best, most important way for a lupus patient to live well outside of medication is exercise and fitness and diet.
So tell us just real quickly what lupus is.
So lupus is an autoimmune disease where your body is allergic to itself. The white blood cells actually attack healthy tissue. It can't differentiate between viruses and healthy tissue. So it attacks your joints mainly, but also your organs, heart, brain. 60% will lose their kidneys.
Oh, wow.
The mortality rate's around 15%. It's a deadly disease, and there's no cure. So...
and so I think being the executive director of the foundation, you're able, like you said, from a medical, probably more Western medicine with taking actual medication, you incorporate an Eastern or holistic side of diet, exercise, and mind, body, soul.
Yeah, so every lupus patient is drawn to the more holistic side because they have taken medication their whole life.
Yes.
The side effects are devastating.
Mm-hmm.
It is so hard on a lupus patient. So they're always looking for something else, something that will help them. And so, diet and exercise is the least expensive and most important thing you can do when it comes to living well with lupus. It's something I took very seriously. I did a lot of study on it. I became certified with the National Association of Sports Medicine. And I thought, why not do this as well, become a personal trainer?
Well, I know, Therese, you have, what are you on? It's called an elimination diet?
Yes.
Okay, tell me what that is.
Well, and it's interesting because what Benjamin just said sort of made me think about my own health. So something's been going on for many years, and I recently got to the point where I'm ready to give up anything and everything to feel better.
Do you want to disclose? You don't have to disclose it.
It started about 17 years ago when it just seemed like citrus was bothering me. And then it got to a point around...
So digestive.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it just became more and more. And so eating had become difficult, even swallowing, right? And so I got to this point of desperation where I'm ready to do whatever I need to do. And what happened, interestingly, you mentioned, regular medications. My doctor wanted to put me on Prilosec, and I was really against it because I know the side effects are so negative. And I agreed to try it for 2 weeks, just to sort of satisfy their requirements. And as soon as I got off of it, my symptoms were like out of control. I was way worse. And then I went back. It's
almost like a withdrawal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But what was happening is the Prilosec was masking the problem. It was like covering, and I felt great, and I started eating whatever I wanted. Well, then that just made me go crazy sick the next week, and then I just said, no, I'm sticking to my guns and going to stick with what your protocol is, Benjamin. So
yeah, it's definitely a good starting place. And if you have more symptoms, obviously you need to see a doctor. But if you are really intentional about your life and you decide that this is something that's going to become your lifestyle, you will see amazing changes. I think America right now is a really sick country.
We agree.
And I think everyone is addicted to a neurotoxin that they're feeding kids daily.
Energy drinks?
It's called sugar.
Sugar as a carcinogen. But is there good sugar?
So, There really isn't. I mean, there's natural sugars that you can eat for energy, and that's fine.
Through fruit, right? Like a fructose through fruit.
Yeah, but even that, like fruit juice, that's just as bad as a Coke or a Pepsi. Like fruit juices, the problem is they take all the roughage out, so there's no fiber, so it doesn't slow down your digestion like fruit's supposed to do, and so it naturally just becomes fat. It hits your system, and it just immediately becomes fat.
Wow.
So fruit juices, sugar juices, and I tell you what, most Americans right now are drinking their calories. That's a problem. If everyone, if it was illegal to drink anything but water, America would start to recover. They are so sick right now because of the calories that they are drinking. That's just huge. I mean, that's number one, Now, here's the thing about Benjamin Sage Fitness. All right, that is going to be
Benjamin
different.
Sage Fitness. Right. Getting the plug in. I love it.
This is the thing that is going to be different than most fitness programs that I've seen. And that is most personal trainers are very formulaic. They will say, okay, this is the diet you have to use. And it could be a great diet. Or this is the exercise program that you have to follow. You have to do less cardio, more lifting. Or not as much lifting, just do more cardio. And everyone has all these formulas. And they say, just plug it into your life and it's going to be good. But the success rate is dismal. People are not changing.
That's what I was going to ask you, because it's so, for us to stay healthy, there's so much out there. You hear keto's bad. You hear keto's good. You hear elimination diet. You hear, don't say the word diet, die, right?
Yeah.
You hear high intensity training, HIIT, or you hear, no, you have to hybrid it with cardio and some weight training. You hear plant slant. You hear, it all comes at us.
It's overwhelming,
but
right?
it's very individual, don't you think? Like, I will say for me, I know what works for me. I'm a pescatarian with sometimes some fish once in a great while. Eat plant slant. Try my hardest to stay whole foods and like nature based. Stay away from sodas or sugar in general, and drink a ton of water. My downfall is coffee, but even I'm told coffee's not the worst thing for you, and I drink it black.
Right. So let me blow your mind.
Please,
right?
please. Wouldn't be the first time. Come on.
99% of diet programs actually work.
Yes.
Like even the old-fashioned Atkins diet. Do you remember Atkins?
It all works.
And then
Keto works.
He died of a heart attack. So everyone's like, okay, let's not do Atkins anymore. But I mean, people are way against keto. That in my circles are like way against it. Some people are really against other diets. I personally have a diet plan. I do. It's really actually very, very simple. I just do like 1,800 calories a day when I'm cutting, 2,200 calories a day when I'm trying to gain a little bit. But I do intermittent fasting. So I stop eating at 8 o'clock at night, no matter what. And I don't eat again until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
And when you fill in between 1 o'clock and 8 o'clock, 1,800 calories is actually a lot of food.
Between a 7-hour time frame. Yes.
And in the morning, for some reason, I guess because I got used to it, it took about a month. But I'm never hungry.
Well, and I will tell you, 1,800, you're tall. How tall are you?
I'm 6'3".
You're 6'3". 1,800 calories is not a lot of calories
No,
for a man. That's when you're cutting.
That's when I'm cutting, right.
So 2,200 is what?
2,200.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
And honestly, I even eat more than that sometimes. And I also have a cheat day. On Saturday, I eat whatever I want, whenever I want.
That's great.
And what's funny? On cheat day, I end up like at night looking back and going, oh, dang, I didn't cheat. And I get really upset at myself because I just don't have that desire. Like I'm just not looking for like a bunch of cake and ice cream.
Or if you do eat that bad food, does it sometimes go through you? I mean, I hate to get grotesque because your body's not used to it.
No, let me tell you about my body, all right? Because of
Tell me, baby. Tell me.
No, because I'm living how I'm living, my metabolism is so crazy efficient that, I do eliminate really, really well.
Really fast.
And not only that, but like my body is always warm. So like at night, I don't need a blanket. I'm always warm. I'm always happy because my body is expending energy even at night, and it's burning calories all night long.
That's great. I have an enormous amount of energy too. It like people think it's crazy. I mean, granted, like I do drink coffee, but I have one during the day and I sip on it like a lot. Like just during the day.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing and it's a curse because I get so much done, and people will say, do you sleep? How can I help? Because I do have trouble sleeping, just so you know. I mean, sometimes I need a sleep aid, whether it's Benadryl or melatonin.
Right. So you were
Help
actually
me.
transitioning really well into the next thing. So I said 99% of diets are fine, as
Yes.
long as you're having the nutrition that you need.
Yes.
As long as you're in a caloric deficit, you're going to lose weight. So let me just throw all diets out the window. Like that's not the secret to my success. Exercise programs. So once again, there's better diets than others, and there's better exercise programs than
Yes.
others. So personally, I'm not a big believer in aerobic activity. I don't believe in cardio. I never run, and like I could like take my shirt off right now and just show you.
Can you
I've
take
got
it off
abs.
right now? Can you?
No, but my point is my body is
That's
not.
been our show, you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
But that my body is not the result of cardio. Like I don't run.
So, okay, can I ask this though? Because that 1 to 7, okay, and I'm going to let you talk, Teresa, I promise, because this is that 1 to 7 intermittent fasting is perfect for me. 1 to 8 rather.
Yeah.
Perfect for me. I would probably drop my calories more because I'm 5'2", right? So I would drop my calories more than your 2,200 or your 1,800. And when should I work out?
Okay, so let's talk about
help
working
me.
out.
Yes.
Okay, so
and timing.
there are better workout programs than others. I personally think that lifting and tearing muscle tissue, tearing it slightly, not so that you're super sore, but tearing muscle tissue, in order to rebuild that muscle tissue back, you have to sleep. Sleeping is the only time muscle tissue grows back, and that's when your body heals. So when you are lifting heavy, and by heavy, it's relative. Obviously, for me, it's going to be more than someone starting out. I don't want anyone ever to be sore, like super sore. You should feel it. But if you're sore all the time, you're doing it wrong.
Okay.
It should be a gradual increase in weight. So your body is evolution. It really is. It is constantly adapting to environment. So if you are adding to that environment heavy weight, your body's going to respond. And just like a giraffe got super tall because the leaves are really high, your body is going to react to that new experience. And it is going to tear muscle tissue down. And then at night, it's going to
rebuild it.
But that happens at night.
That's what I was going to ask. When should
you're
I work
sleeping.
out, though? When should I work out?
So it doesn't matter. Your body will respond at night and you'll sleep better. But here's the key. You really do have to push yourself hard when you work out. It needs to be at least 40 minutes. You can't take a lot of rests between sets. Like you need to exhaust yourself.
But I would like cardio, though, too, because cardio helps with like anxiety, depression, anger, all of that.
So to me,
anger,
to me, lifting,
rage.
yeah, to me, lifting does all that. Plus, you don't have the soreness of the joints. Like running is really, really difficult on the knees. It's very difficult on the joints. It also makes you really hungry. Like when I do cardio, I get hungry, and then next thing I know, and plus it takes so long.
But I feel like you're a boy too, Benjamin. You're a man. Like women. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to incorporate some cardio, but I can shift a little bit to more weight training. But
I'm telling you, that's my secret. Now
from an
everyone is
emotional
different.
side, I need that cardio. I walk out and I feel like $1,000,000. But I do agree, like I used to run all the time. I wouldn't mind running a little bit, but you know what really helps me? Spin class. And I don't have all that joint. There's a lot of less, crazy.
So if I do cardio, I'm going to do HIIT, which is
Yes,
high intensity
training.
interval training.
Okay.
And that is where I will, if I do a treadmill, I'll go to about a 10 or 11 and just sprint
Gotcha.
for about 2 minutes. And then I'll walk for about 3 minutes. And then I'll sprint again. And then I'll walk. So I do that. That really, creates a
Perfect.
lot of tension in the body. The reason why I'm against cardio is just because the downside is too down for me. It really does. It makes me hungry. It hurts my joints. It's hard on the heart. Okay. Your heart is not a muscle that rebuilds when you stress it. Your heart has a limited capacity, and when you stress it by cardio, it actually is not good for it.
Oh, wow.
It's
Okay.
degenerative.
Got it.
So
That's interesting.
It is.
yeah, so okay, and here's the third thing. So I said diet doesn't matter. Most diets work. Workouts, as long as you're being active, it's going to do you some good. There's better than others, but that's not the secret either. That's not the secret. The secret to
Here we go.
Benjamin Sage Fitness. Mm-hmm. I'm being so dramatic.
I love it.
Okay, I believe that if a tree falls in a forest and there's no one around, does it make a sound? That whole thought. If you have a perfect exercise program, perfect workout program, but you never do it, does it do you any good?
No.
No, of course not. So the reason why we fail at reaching our goals is because we don't do it. So this is a human concept. No one does what they don't want to do. No one does. Now they'll do it for a little while because they want to, but then they can't keep doing it because they don't want to. So no one does what they don't want to do. So I incorporate that and I try to find what is the key to everyone's soul that unlocks the door to make them want to live a different lifestyle. And if you don't start there, then you're not going to get anywhere. So you have to actually start by sitting down across from someone, talking. It might take a couple hours, and you unpack everything inside. You lay it out on the table, and there's all of their
baggage.
And you try to find out what in here is making them live an unhealthy lifestyle, and what is it. Try to go through all of their stuff and find that key that will make them want to turn it around, because everyone changes by way of just three things. Number one would be experience. Maybe their dad, has a heart attack, or maybe their kid gets diagnosed with diabetes, or maybe they want to play with their kids and they don't have any energy. So that experience makes them want to change, all right? That's an easy key. The second key would be information that results in inspiration, all right? They hear something that just resonates, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my goodness, that makes sense, and then they do it. And then the third thing is the hardest one, and that is what I do. And that is trying to unpack everyone's emotional baggage, look through it, have them meditate on it, find out what that is, and then be able to make friends with it. And once they're really able to make friends with their baggage and then find that path, and oftentimes people are blind and they're just blindly looking for the door. And I try to open up their eyes, find that door, and then I make it fun. It's got to be fun, because no one's going to do what they don't want to do. So I am much more of a life coach. I'm much more of a therapist than I am just kind of the meathead personal trainer that yells at you while you try to do a bench press.
I think it's a combination. And I think every single variable and component of what you just said is key to overall mind, body, soul, and wellness. So it's beautiful. So real quickly, because we're running out of time, we could talk to you all day, Benjamin Sage. If Therese, you could tell us, what's the elimination diet?
Yeah, I'm interested in that too.
Can I ask him a question, actually?
Oh my gosh.
No, you're not allowed.
He already said he's not taking his shirt off, Therese.
Right, I know. We'll work on that, right? So what I'm wondering about, Benjamin, is I'm a minimalist. I love going to the gym and lifting weights, but sometimes it's easier to just do stuff at home. I don't want to have a weight system at home, and I love using my body. So yoga. So I was just wondering if you could address that concept of using yoga as strength training.
And I want to piggyback real quickly.
Sure.
Because I've always heard 80-20. It's 80 what you put in and 20% exercise. So they say if you, like you said, every diet will work. So if you do yoga or you do your everyday house cleaning or you climb stairs instead of taking the elevator, is that also significant for someone who doesn't want to do HIIT or cardio?
Right. So the first thing I find out for someone when I'm sitting down with them is, are they an introvert or whether they're an extrovert? If they're an extrovert, they actually get energy from other people.
Yes.
And they want to go to the gym, they want to be seen, and they're feeding off of people. Most people that I have seen are introverts.
Oh, cool. Oh, wow.
You take them to a gym and they are not going to want to be seen. They don't, it actually saps energy from them. And like I said, it's got to be something that you want to do. So if you want to work out at home, then yeah, we're going to have you work out at home. And you can get some really inexpensive bands to put on your legs.
Oh, cool.
And those bands will create resistance. Now, the problem with yoga, and I've done hot yoga just once, and I was so exhausted, I literally lay there. Everyone else left the class, and I'm laying on my mat in just a pool of sweat. And I'm like, I don't know if I can get up. Like, it was really hard. But it can only take you so far, because once again, we're talking about tearing down muscle tissue. So you're going to create really good balance. You're going to create really good flexibility, but actual muscle tone. And it's also going to give you really good lungs. Like, you're going to be able to handle, it gives you so much energy. It's great. I love yoga. I'm a big proponent.
Oh, good. And it's great for your head too. It's
yes.
great
And that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to talk about. It's the most important thing is your head. But what I like to see in my client is to speed up their metabolism, because if you work out and exercise, you're only burning calories for an hour, and that's it. And then you get hungry and you eat all those calories back. But if you do muscle tearing tissue workouts where you're doing resistance, like bands or any type of even just little dumbbells, just little tiny dumbbells, those things are going to create a metabolism that will burn calories 24 hours a day. Even at night while you're sleeping, you're burning calories, because that's how your body responds to muscle tissue being torn down. It has to rebuild it. That takes energy, and it reduces any stress. It's such a good thing for you. So
It's great.
what I would do is I would incorporate in your house
Yes.
just some dumbbells that would work for you, some bands, and then your body weight. I mean, you can do pull-ups, you can do push-ups, you can do all kinds of things just using your own body weight. And for most women, that's really just about all you need.
It's great advice. And real quickly, what's the elimination diet?
It's just something that my doctor suggested, and
Okay.
there's different levels of it, and I could actually decide which one I wanted to go to.
Okay.
And so in the one I'm on, there's, I don't know, a small handful of foods that I can eat, and I'm trying to
Figure out.
eliminate the things that trigger people. So, for example, no sugar, right?
Yeah.
And that's a good thing to do anyway, as we know. No gluten, no what's the other one that I'm thinking of right now? No dairy, right? And I
Yes.
was getting to the point where dairy all of a sudden was making me throw up.
So it sounds like, and it could come with age and, right, like the chemistry of our body and aging women versus men and digestive issues. So it sounds like your primary care is kind of helping lead the way.
Yeah, but you know what? To an extent, I mean, I believe that we have to be the doctors of our own bodies.
Oh, yes,
And
100.
What I really realized was by doing some deep investigation into the issue is that being on antibiotics for infections when I was younger and also birth control for a long time,
Has played a toll.
well, it's led to an overgrowth of yeast, right? And so then that has led to this, like people walk around thinking, well, I have GERD or acid reflux. But then what's causing it? And we always have to get to what's causing
the root
it.
cause.
Exactly.
Sure. So you've done your own
Exactly.
investigation.
Yep.
Well, Treese Berlinski, our handsome guest, Benjamin Sage.
You're so nice.
How can people get a hold of you?
Okay, so right now I'm on Facebook at Benjamin Sage 50.
Excellent.
Benjamin Sage is kind of interesting because people say, what's Benjamin Sage? And it sounds like you're asking, what's Benjamin's age?
That's the
And the answer is 50.
50.
That's right.
That's
So-
on Instagram too. So you're on social right
Yes,
now.
Instagram, Benjamin Sage 50. Facebook, Benjamin Sage 50. Like and follow and DM
Excellent.
me if you're interested in a personal training session.
And a consultation.
And a consultation first, that's right.
That's excellent. Well, thank you both so much. I enjoyed having both of you on. It's been very interesting, and I'm going to have you both on if you'll come back.
Oh, absolutely. This is great. Thank
Love
you.
to talk about health and wellness and living your best life. So big thank you, Treese Berlinski, Benjamin Sage. Check them out on social. And I'm your host, Kristen Wolosinovich. And a big thank you to you guys, our viewers and listeners. This has been Kaiba Health and Life.